Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Ghost and today we are going to be talking about why battleships are fundamentally the worst class in World of Warships Legends. Now let me get something right off the rip here. Let me say something to you guys real quick. I'm not saying that you can't do well in battleships. I mean, from time to time, even I myself do pretty well in battleships. Sometimes I'll have an absolute banger of a game, and sometimes you guys will even see those matches on the channel if I do manage to record them. However, that still does not hide the simple fact that battleships in this game currently are the hardest class to play. Literally, I say it all the time on my live streams. I say it all the freaking time that battleships are floating slot machines. Battleships literally require luck, okay? Literally, every time you fire those main batteries, there's a chance that those shells are just going to completely fuck off into Narnia, and you will absolutely do nothing. That's the problem right there with battleships. Battleships are literally giant slot machines, and there's really not much you can do about it other than just suffer. Like, there's nothing much else to do about it. Now, sometimes battleships are an absolute dream, but other times, in particular, in this game, for example, it's a pretty good example of just what happens when you get countered by a good team. When my whole team dies and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, I'm getting set on fire. I've already lost, I don't know, 7,000 hit points, and yeah, I mean, it's just, it goes to show, man. Just from a couple salvos from a Friesland, I lost like 9,000 health. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. HE spam is one of the main reasons why battleships in this game are just absolute fucking trash. And I'm not saying that you can't do well, but I'm just saying it's an absolute chore to do anything in a game. When you're getting HE spammed down to the ground, getting torpedoed because nobody wants to go out there and spot the destroyers, nobody wants to shoot the cruisers, and there's really not a whole lot you can do. Notice that in this game in particular, I'm turning away. There's 3 destroyers in the cap, there's 2 battleships waiting. I'm not going to fucking just sit here and get smacked around. Not to mention the enemy team, they have a division that's, well, there's a few players in there that I know, at least a couple anyway, that are very good at the game, and yeah, it seems very fair and balanced to me. But yeah, I mean, battleships in this game, basically one of the main reasons why they suck is because, number one, they're floating slot machines. They rely too much on RNG. Every time you fire your guns, either you'll completely mess up somebody or you'll just completely do nothing to them. And that's like one of the main issues I have with battleships. Like, you just don't know what to expect. They're so inconsistent, and that's something I look for in my ships, is consistency. Battleships do not have consistency. That's one main reason why I think they're just going to do not as well as some other classes, for example, in a competitive setting. Battleships are literally, they're inconsistent at best, and they require and they depend too much upon RNG and luck, and that's why I mainly do not play battleships as much anymore, is because of that reason alone. And not to mention, since you are the biggest ship in the game, you've got a lot of superstructure, you're an easy target to just farm down. There's not much you can do about it. For example, let me just say a cruiser out there, or even a destroyer, they're shooting their guns at you, they're spamming you down, you return fire, you try to, you know, fuck them up, and what happens? You get overpens, you get ricochets, or you just completely miss, because RNG says fuck you. That's the main problem with battleships right there, is the consistency. They just don't have it. Battleships lack consistency, and you'll see a lot of the competitive players, you know, a lot of the good players in cruisers and destroyers and carriers. Cruisers are fantastic. Why? Because they hit their shots. Like, anytime you aim at somebody, you're gonna hit your shots. I mean, cruisers are the second most accurate class in the game. Cruisers are very consistent. When you aim at something, odds are 9 out of 10 times you're actually gonna hit them, unless you were pretty off. Destroyers, why are they so good? Well, because of the same reason why cruisers are so good. They're consistent. Where you aim is where your shit's gonna go, okay? And not to mention, destroyers are very stealthy, so you can go around and torpedo people, and there's not a whole lot battleships can do about it, okay? Battleships in this game require support. If you don't have support, you could basically kiss your ass goodbye, because battleships are nothing. They're absolutely nothing if you don't have support from your team. That's one thing I want to mention too, is if you don't have support, you're basically fucked. Like, you have to either get super duper lucky and just absolutely obliterate people off the map, or you have to have support in a battleship to do any sort of good, because, like I said, they're floating slot machines, man. They are literal floating slot machines, and battleships in this game just get absolutely bullied because of that reason alone. I can't count how many times I've had people just sail circles around me, burn me down, or torpedo me, or what have you, and I can't do anything about it because my shells don't want to do anything to them in return. You know, I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying that you can't do well in battleships. Like, you could still have good games in battleships, but it still doesn't hide the fact that you still have to depend on RNG and you have to depend on your teammates to carry you. That's literally what battleships are in this game these days, is they're floating slot machines, and they depend too much upon RNG, and that's mainly why I don't play them as much. They're so inconsistent. They get bullied by every class. Destroyers, cruisers, and carriers literally can counter a battleship easily. Easily. And, yeah, it's just, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to frickin' do? But nonetheless, everybody, that's about it. Little rant or whatever you want to call it over with. Battleships fundamentally are the worst class in 2022. Or, sorry, 2023 now. They've been the worst class for a long time. And I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying you can't have a good time in battleships. Sometimes, if the game allows you, you can have a pretty decent time. But for the most part, battleships in this game just don't do much of all, if not anything. And that's kind of the unfortunate part. So nonetheless, everybody, I appreciate you all watching. If you guys did enjoy this video or anything like that, make sure to go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are getting super duper freaking close to 2,000 subscribers. That's right. Jesus. You guys are absolutely crazy with the support. I can't thank you guys enough. And nonetheless, everybody, I hope you all have a good rest of your weeks, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.